Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Moira.
Welcome to Color Chats. It's a Turquoise event on Facebook.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so sweetheart, I'm going to just double check that we're live and we're active on my second computer here and to see if anyone's going to be joining us. And by the way, anybody, if we do disappear on you, it's because we have huge storms busy moving through with lightning and thunder and torrential rain and all of that. And all right, let's just have a look here. Trying to open up the screen so I can see. Okay, Lisa saying good morning, beautiful turquoise ladies. Hi, Lisa. Lisa Charmaine from North Carolina. Yeah, she's a turquoise girl too, Jackie. She's on that frequency of turquoise with us.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so there we go. So we have her in as well. All right, we're actually going to hit running because turquoise, there's a lot of information about turquoise that we want to delve into today. And you having written the turquoise chapter in the beautiful 11 Pearls of Wisdom book, I had yourself a real deep dive into turquoise while you did that. So we're going to have a look and disseminate some of that energy. But before I do that, just bear with me. I just want to show the audience here, our viewers, our friends watching. Please pick a number between 1, 2, or 3. Feel which one you're drawn to. Pop into the comments box which one you are drawn to. Even if you're watching the recording, let us know. And I will, at the end of the show, give you a little message. Jackie, which one are you drawn to? 1, 2, or 3?
3 for me today.
3, okay. Fantastic. I was drawn to 2 today. Let's have a look. I choose my go-to 3, says Lisa. Martine Austin, number 1. Fantastic, from the UK. Lovely. Northern Carolina, says Lisa. Okay. Not the South. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So here we go. Let's have a little turquoise conversation. Okay. So you live in a forest. How do you say it? Is it a Pisgah forest, right? Pisgah forest in North Carolina. And I got to tell you guys watching, I was lucky enough with my son Michael to take a drive down, and we went to visit Jackie in her home there. And I would give my hind legs to live in that place. It is an absolutely beautiful, it's like one of those little hidden paradises on the planet. You really do live in a beautiful place, Jackie. What is it like living in with all that greenery and the river running through there? I mean, this is such a green turquoise energy that you live in.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. And I picked my house, the one that I lived in for 20-something years, and the one I live in now. I'm always surrounded by the forest and the huge trees, and it just feeds me. Nature just feeds me so much, and it just feels like whenever I need to feel rejuvenated, just going out in nature is just awesome, just perfect, and so nourishing.
And when we were there, we went to walk along the river and into the forest. And it was such a beautiful walk. And even just around your place, you know, the space you have and the creek at the back is absolutely beautiful. You really do live in paradise. Okay, right. So now that you're officially a published author, which by the way is a very turquoise thing to do. Turquoise is about publishing and writing and putting your story and your emotional stories out into the world. What is it like for you to see that story printed in a book?
You know, at first there was a lot of resistance to even opening the book and seeing what it looked like. It just seemed so precious. But awestruck when I saw it. Such a beautiful book, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
Your photograph is beautiful in there. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. There was also, besides the resistance, there was also a lot of reverence, because not just being a part of this beautiful book, but it reminded me so much that we are all conscious beings with choice. And I love that so much, because when I tried to, or when I did read my story again in the printed page, I felt reverence. I felt, wow, this is a soul who picked a really hard journey. And
It's like you
I mean,
became
we
the
all have
reader.
wonderful.
You became the reader of your own story, and you could read it as a reader, not as the author.
Right.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, it was really an interesting take on it. Really shifted my perception.
Yeah.
So again, feeling really honored, and it was quite a process for sure, a real growth one too. So.
Well, I tell you, I'm so thrilled that when you said yes to be part of the project, I really loved it. So in your story, you wrote about a very key moment in your life, and it was a time when you lost your baby and your hearing literally at the same time. And you wrote about it very poignantly. You can feel the emotion, you can feel the shock. You speak about the PTSD that you suffered as well, that you didn't deal with at that time. But that really is a very deep emotional trauma that you went through. And of course, that is a very typical turquoise kind of pattern, a turquoise event. And in that moment, we can either shut down our feelings or we can allow them to enrich our lives at some point in the future. So what advice would you give to somebody that's currently going through, or maybe they have an undealt with traumatic turquoise event?
Thank you. The thing is, we live in a society that's so rushed. There's so much going on. And for me, there was a tendency just to keep going, just to keep the process of life going as much as possible. And what I'd encourage people to do is to really slow down, deep breathe, and just sit with the feelings as much as possible. And really check in with your body, because our body is such a barometer of what's going on with our inner selves, our spiritual selves. And to ask, what is it that I need in this moment? And be gentle to yourself. The things that really helped me were just being out in nature and taking it slowly, meditating, and being with positive people.
Oh, that's a
obviously doing nurturing things like taking warm baths and getting massages, and just also sitting with the feelings of it's okay, whatever it is, but asking for help too.
Oh, that's important, Jaci. When you're going through that, is because, like you say, what you did is you distracted yourself and you went on with life, and you didn't sit with it, and then it sits in your body, and that becomes PTSD down the line. It becomes really difficult to deal with the longer you hold it in your body. Then asking for help is so important. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. That's good advice for you guys. If you have had a turquoise traumatic event you've never dealt with, or you're currently in one, I think that was some really, you got a book in you, Jaci. You've got to write a book about this. The chapter, I think your chapter in here was just a beginning. You have so much more to write about your life and your stories. I do hope that one day you sit down and go for it. Do a big book, not just a chapter.
Oh, it's a thought. It's a thought. Thank you.
So you created a business, which is it's a unique massage methodology that's quite innovative, which is also very turquoise futurist. Turquoise is about the future. It's like people set up businesses and have ideas and ideals that are before time, before other people can get on board with it and actually embrace it. Okay. And I think that's kind of what your business is. I mean, I have a picture here. I can show them in the book, you with your African massage and some of the sound therapy tools and of course the color mirrors bottles that you have. So what is different about your approach to massage? What makes it so innovative and futuristic?
Well, thank you. And one little secret I'd like to say before I go on and answer that is, in my story, I write about the daughter that I lost, but the daughter that I currently have is in that picture as my model. So
Oh, yeah.
that's a real
Chelsea.
special one.
Lovely.
Thank you. So what it is that African massage is, why it's different is that it's a combination of a body, mind, spirit modality. And there's not a lot of massage modalities that are like that. We are constantly reminded that we just work on the soft tissue. And I feel that that's not completely true. So with African massage, I want to gear my questions towards what the person's real physical issue is, because I was trained in sports massage initially. But I also want to know what's going on with them mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And at the beginning of a session, I have them pick out some color mirrors bottles, and that gives me a great indication about what they're feeling and what they're dealing with. And then during the massage, I give them a bottle reading and talk to them about what the colors mean that they've picked out. So I'll give them a little meditative massage, starting off with a spritzer, giving them the aroma and the smell, and then having them visualize the elements working with the massage movements to create a powerful healing pack that helps their body to release the tension and their mind to be focused in on what we're doing and really bringing together both of our minds at the same time, which is really very powerful to create a healing power pack.
Yeah, and the sound, because I have to say, people who didn't know what those instruments were on the bed, somebody actually said, "Is that a dildo?" It's like, no, I'm from Africa and you're from Africa. We know that that is a sound therapy, a traditional sound therapy tool. So, how do you apply these old instruments, these ancient instruments from the ancient tribes into the session with the color and the massage?
Well, there's the rungu stick, which has lumps on either side, but it's a wooden stick that is very good for rubbing on the body to help release adhesions and knots in the muscles. And then there are bonga sticks, which do drumming on the body.
Oh, wow.
And there was also a gourd, which when shaken makes beautiful sounds, which helps to release tension in the auric field. And I also have a little Narumbu machine, which plings different tones. And it's also very healing to hear that during the massage. So it's a wonderful combination.
It is, because I mean the most natural therapy in the world is color and sound. It's nature's healing, and smell, the aroma. So you combine them all. Oh, no wonder you're ahead of your time, girl. Okay. Let me just check in here to see who else has joined us. We've got Aurelia from Denmark. She's choosing number 2, same as me, Aurelia. That's fantastic. Yvonne says number 3, same as you, or your third choice. Fiona says 2, and Pamela Williams says number 1. Oh, that's fantastic. Wonderful. And thank you so much, guys, for joining us live. Jackie and I were just saying before we started, you don't get a big audience for shows these days because you don't get Facebook notifying that we're live. So we really do appreciate you doing this. And, you know, you can hit the share button and share it to your timeline of groups and let people know we're live too. That also would help us a lot. Fiona says, loving this. Oh, yay. Fabulous, Fiona. Thank you. Also Fiona's also a co-author in the book with Jackie and myself. Okay. Now, I want to just get back to you writing your chapter, because it was hard for me to watch some of the stuff you went through and to know what you were dealing with, because, you know, not only are we colleagues, we're friends. So while you were writing your chapter, your father passed away, and it was quite unexpected. And then by the time we went to the publishing phase, your favorite aunt passed away, somebody that you had a very close relationship with, and that really, you know, was very supportive in your role to immigrate and live in Canada. How on earth, Jaci, did you keep yourself together, keep your business running, keep supporting the entire family as they were going through everything, and you still completed your chapter? I don't know how you did it. Please tell me.
Well, it wasn't an easy time at all. And I think, thank goodness for color mirrors. I was using the violet dragon, lilac angel, and my turquoise bottles all the time, constantly, just feeling the feelings of the grief and the sadness, and sometimes being overwhelmed, and just using the spritzers really, really helped, just to help me feel grounded and able to cope with things on a daily basis, but also just things that need to be done, as well as just moving through the emotions. So I think, thank goodness for color mirrors. I couldn't have done it without all of my colors.
Yeah, because you're always there to support everyone else, and who's there to support you. So it's good to know that the color system and the information and knowledge of this system was there to support you. Thank you for letting me know that. And again, that just says how lucky we are that Melissa started the system, and that we have this as our, our strength in times of need. What I loved you saying as well is this time you sat with your emotions, unlike when you were much younger and you went through what you did. How much wisdom you've gained and how much experience you've gained, knowing that you can't bottle this up. It's got to be let out. So
right.
well done for that. Yeah. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite turquoise bottle in the system?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's number 25.
25 turquoise and a yellow combination. Why that one?
The turquoise, it's getting into the feelings, acknowledging the feelings, but sometimes the feelings can be really heavy and challenging. And I just love the yellow because it helps brighten everything up. It makes me feel like it's the sunny side up. The sun is coming up, and brings joy into whatever we're going through or I'm going through. So it just shines the light on everything. So to me, it's a wonderful combination.
And of course, turquoise is supposed to be about unlocking the emotions, and one of the emotions we don't spend time nurturing and using in our bodies is the yellow. So I love that you've got that 25, and also that bottle's called trust. So this is about really following the path of faith and trust in your life, and following the joy. I love it. Thank you. Actually, one of the things I do on the show is I do explain a little bit to people who are not familiar with the pearls, what the normal turquoise would be like, and why would the pearl, what's different about the pearl energy, because kind of why did we bother writing a whole book about the pearls, right? What the difference is. So I've got a little passage I wanted to read here. When you have a look at, for example, in the color, the Wisdom of Color Mirrors book, written by Melissa, the founder of Color Mirrors, and Karani Connolly, and we have a look at one of the turquoise bottles, 7. Of course, you and I, this is our color. Our birth number is the 7. Our life path is the 7. Yes. So when you look at there's a little passage here that says, people with strong turquoise qualities have a tendency to avoid emotions. That's us from the word go, right? Yeah. When you choose this bottle, you may be hiding your true feelings, keeping your mind busy, drifting around in your thoughts, circling restlessly and aimlessly through the mire, and consequently finding it almost impossible to move forward. If you cannot admit to your feelings or feel your feelings at all, the Neptune energy, which is the turquoise bottle's name, assists with its loving yet penetrating support. If you are ungrounded, lost, or confused, this bottle helps you navigate towards clarity and understanding. So I like what they say in the Wisdom of Color Mirrors book, where turquoise is that color that's going to open up that emotional journey for you to begin to bring you to clarity, to begin to ground you, to begin to allow you to feel your emotions. And to me, the turquoise pearl takes it another step deeper. not even higher, but deeper. That's what I love about the pearls. The pearls that, that whole analogy Melissa wrote in her chapter on the rose gold pearl about, what a pearl is inside the oyster and what it becomes, that wisdom that it gains. So I'm going to read just a little extract from the turquoise pearl in our book, The 11 Pearls of Wisdom, just to show you a little bit of difference, a little bit of depth that you get to with the pearl energy in turquoise. This glowing turquoise pearl speaks of freedom. Freedom in your heart, freedom in your mind, freedom in your body. Its sparkling glow brings inspiration, insight, and expansion. And with its fresh, vibrant energy, it encourages you to go beyond your usual thoughts, patterns, and behaviors and try something new. That is why you became the turquoise pearl, because there's something about, when you look just at pearl, Jaci, at turquoise, the normal turquoise, it's a lot about feeling the emotions. And that means you have to connect to the body. And that's the difficult part. And that's why, people end up having to go to massage therapists, because all the emotions and the tensions are locked into the muscular system. Then the turquoise pearl comes and says, you need to access the body to really feel the freedom, because turquoise can set you free. And that to me is what I had a little insight on this morning. I thought, well, yeah, of course, that's exactly why Jaci became the turquoise pearl chapter, because she unlocks the body and she sets the body free from those trapped emotions, from the PTSD that's locked into the muscles.
Wonderful. That just sounds so perfect.
Yeah, definitely a change between that one and that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Fiona says, I'm a 7 too. So she's also a life path 7, yes. Fiona's just done the color mirrors numerology course, so we did all our numbers there. Teresa Marigold Hubert says, Moira, you teach courses on this. Would you mind posting a link if you have one, please? I'm curious. Definitely, Teresa, I will get back to you on that. I'm hoping that you're doing good too. Been following you on Facebook. I know who you are, darling. And Michael, my son, he's chosen bottle number 3 today. Oh, that's very nice. Aurelia says, just choose number 1, 2, or 3. Moira will show empty bottles. Oh, thank you for helping out with the questions, Aurelia. You're gorgeous. By the way, Aurelia's ordered her copy of the Pearls of Wisdom book. It's going to go into the post to you today to Denmark. Aurelia, I've got a hard copy in for you. Fabulous. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so what is your pearl of wisdom for anybody right now that feels they have that PTSD stuck in their physical bodies, like something practical that they can actually do right now? Maybe you could talk them through it or help me. I mean, I can tell you that, Jaci, I have got this recurring pain that sits right in the shoulder blades here. It's like a knot, and it drives me crazy. And whenever I lead up to teaching, it gets emphasized and it gets really, really sore. So I know there is something kind of stuck there. And I have tried rubbing oils on it. I must admit, I haven't tried turquoise oil. I must maybe try that. But what would you say happens to us when we have this perpetual or repeating kind of tension or knot in our bodies? And what is your pearl of wisdom for myself and anybody else who goes through this?
Thank you. I have pain in my body too, and sometimes I can't get to my own shoulders to massage them, but it's hard to get there. So what I do is I lie down. I usually hold a color therapy bottle, lying down, breathing for a few minutes, and really checking in with the pain and asking it, how big are you? And really seeing inside my body. So taking a journey inside my body and kind of measuring, feeling how big the pain feels. Sometimes it feels like it's a soccer field big. Sometimes it just feels like a laser beam. It's so sharp. But asking my body then, what color is it? and what does it smell like, and what does it need in order to feel good, and try and get as deep as possible into the pain. And once I'm inside it, see if I can spread out and make the pain bigger. Because pain, just like emotions, I've learned, are like waves. They come and feel a little overwhelming. And then once we acknowledge them and say, wow, I see you, then they can move on.
I've
So,
never thought of making my pain feel any bigger than it already is. You are blowing my mind right now. I'm like, what?
well, that's the
Wow.
interesting thing, is that when we really acknowledge something and really get into it, all it really wants is acknowledgement. And once we can see it and feel it and totally be with it, all of a sudden, a pain that's a 9 out of 10 that can have people bending over and scrunching up, all of a sudden, wow, it's a 1 or a 2. I'm barely aware of it. So that's what I do for myself all the time, is just really acknowledging the pain.
And acknowledging its
feeling.
existence, like it's because it's a life force. It's doing something. It's attached to your body. You created it. It's there, and giving it acknowledgement and a voice and recognition and permission to expand. That must be what dissipates it then.
Yeah. You know, when I was young, I used to get the most horrendous menstrual cramps. And it was probably when I was about 39, I was just so pissed off because nothing would ever help, whether it was hot water bottle, ice packs, painkillers, nothing would help. So eventually, one day I just lay down and I was just talking to my uterus and telling it, you know, I'm just sick of this pain. But then I stopped and I thought, wow, my uterus has been working really hard every month for all of my adult life. So I stopped and breathed, and I made friends with it and said, well, thank you for all this hard work that you're doing. And I'm here with you. What is it that you need? Please tell me. And I was just amazed. The pain went away. And every time I had the menstrual cramps, every month, I would lie down and take a few deep breaths and start talking to my uterus, and then the pain would dissipate. So that is what helped me think that I need to be going inside my body to look at the pain and be with the pain. And it's just amazing how that changes things so remarkably.
That's kind of like what you do with the musical instruments. It's that sound, that vibration that goes into the pain that then soothes it and talks to it and lullabies it.
Well, it's also true that while a person's having an African massage, I give them a guided visualization talking about the color and the element. And I think that also helps too. Hearing someone talk soothingly towards them about their pain, it's very valuable and helps them to relax a lot.
That is actually what you wrote about that's your meditative guide that you put into the book. You actually give a guided meditation on going into the body and connecting with that pain and the trauma and the struggle. And you in here you said fire is transformational. It turns wood to ashes and ice to water. And as you work that area, notice how the tension releases and the body's tightness begins to soften. And you feel it changing as the fire helps it to dissipate. So you even bring in elementals into the process. Jackie, you have a whole book in you. Do you know that? I mean, like, this is your friend speaking. Hello. You need to get you to write an entire book. You've got so much wisdom and so much information to share with the world. I can already see the title. Talk to the pain and make it go away.
Oh, I like
it's
that.
a bit of a big wordy title, but and just speaking about each one of the instruments and each one of the processes and each one of the elements. I mean, those are just chapters on their own. It just, you really do have a book in you. And I'm going to sincerely hold the space that one day you get that all this wonderful knowledge and information you have and put it out into a book. And I know our audience, if you want Jackie to write a book about all of this, tell her, put it in the comments box. Let's inspire, because I mean, honestly, that is what we were trying to do with this book, is to give you that experience of what it's like to become an author, to write and to express your work and to teach people a bit more about color therapy. That's really why we did it. So it was a stepping stone. And then the next step is, well, now you know how it works, and go and write a book.
Mm. Well, thank you. And I could not have written that chapter without you, Maura.
Oh, it was fun,
Just,
girl.
oh, you were just such a wonderful mentor and nursemaid to me at that time too. So I'm very grateful to you for that. Thank you.
And I was only passing on what I learned from the writing programs I've been on. Mentoring was so important because as a writer, and when you're finding your story and you're expressing it, you are going to hit those self-doubts and those fears and, you know, and writer's block, or whatever you want to call it, it comes up. But it also, because you're doing it with color therapy, the color is making you work up a pattern and bring it to the conscious mind and heal it as well.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Well, sweetheart, I just love that you came on. Every time we talk, I learn something from you. You are amazing, and I deeply appreciate you in my life. And I know Colomares appreciates you being part of the family. You're very loved. You're dearly, dearly loved by all of us. Let's go and have a look at our share screen. Let's have a look at our choices for the day and see where we're at. So the idea was that you guys would choose, anybody watching, and then the recording, you put in 1, 2, and 3 in the comments box, whichever number you're drawn to, and then you're going to have a bottle come up and give you a message. Lisa Charmaine says, write that book. Yeah, she's very psychic. She's told me everything is going to happen in my life and it's happening. It's like, really? And Anne says, come to Canada this year. Oh, that's nice, Anne. Yeah, anytime. Jackie's been here with us a few times, and we just absolutely love having you here. So those of you who've chosen number 1, okay, for those who've chosen number 1, you have got Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is turquoise on top and coral at the bottom. And she felt like she really wanted to come out for you, for those of you who are drawn to number 1 this week, because she's asking you to relook and revisit how you are of service and what can you do that will increase the way you can be of service, that can expand, because coral is about expansion and turquoise is that emotional connection to who you are and service work. So together, because she is reportedly, or by reputation and what we know about the energy of Kuan Yin, was somebody who had already ascended to such a high frequency, she could leave this plane and move to the next plane of existence. And she couldn't leave this plane because she still heard the cries of humanity, you know, the level of unconsciousness that was here, the pain and the suffering. And she decided to hang around and help. And that was her new level of service, is to be that energetic support for whenever we need it. So she's not left our plane of existence. And so on your plane of existence, which is this planet, for those of you who are drawn to number 1, have a feel into where you can make a difference. What could be the next project or the next service work you could go to, or what can you expand that you're already doing so that you can make a difference and help other people's turquoise traumas heal. That is Kuan Yin for today for number 1. So I hope number 1 that you love it and that you can work with Kuan Yin and call in on her energy this week. Now for number 2s, here we go. Okay. I chose number 2, and number 2 is a clear bottle. It's C9. It's completely clear, so it's like holds tears, it holds water energy, it holds the rainbow. It's just this incredible. And 9, of course, is that in numerology, it's the beginning of everything and this new cycle of everything. So for those of us in 2, like myself, this week, contemplate a new cycle you're about to begin and allow yourself to embrace whatever's coming towards you and whichever color frequency it's coming towards you. In other words, you're going to have to say yes and turn up this week to whatever turns up, because the rainbow is going to be bringing you solutions to problems, going to be bringing you answers to questions, and definitely has been listening to those prayers and those calls for help that you've had. But there's another thing that comes in with this bottle as I'm looking at it, And that is about looking after your physical body, because whenever the rainbow comes at you, and Jaci's been telling us and giving us some helpful advice about being in nature and working with color therapy and relaxing and sitting with your feelings, it really is about taking another look in the mirror, because there's a mirror bottle, this white bottle, looking in the mirror at your body and going, what can I do to optimize my body? What can I do to make it stronger, to make it feel more loved? And I think, if you listen to the earlier part of the interview with Jaci, she spoke about how you connect with the pain and what you do with the pain. That just blew my mind, by the way. It's like, I'm still, the back of my head, I'm going to go after this call today, and I'm going to really sit and integrate that message from Jaci. So that would be for number 2s. Number 3s, those of you like Jaci, and my son Michael's chosen 3 as well, I think, you have got G12, which is an ascension gold, pale gold, very pale colors there today, isn't it? You've got this pale gold bottle, and it's called the I Am. So for this week, you are going to have an opportunity to step into your I Am power. In other words, the I Am really is, I'm God in a body, and everyone else is God in a body. And it's a place of power and love that you come from, but it's authentically you. So you don't have to play any games this week. You don't have to pretend. You can just breathe in your I Am and be that on the planet, be the I Am on the planet. And that will hold you in a place of power. It's going to keep you together, especially, I know, Jaci, you have a lot going on this week. You've got so much that has just exploded around you that needs your attention. Really just remember to breathe in I Am. And pale gold, like the pale gold angel spritzer would be useful, or put the I Am pale gold bottle on your heart or on your solar plexus just to keep you together. And because this is not a week for ego, it's not a week for the yellow ego and the mind. It's definitely a week for the soul to take charge of all the events that unfold for you. I am this. I hope that's useful, Jaci, and anybody else.
There is. Thank you.
Yeah. And just lovely pastel shades. It's just absolutely beautiful this week. Yeah. I am this. And what is this? Oh my word, Jaci, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And when you were talking, it just reminded me so much that I read on this after doing a class, that we are conscious beings with choice. And that's just such a powerful statement. And that really resonated with the pale gold energy, the number 3 that was picked out today. So thank you. Wonderful reminder.
And you're spot on, because people go, oh well, I'm so spiritual and I've evolved and I've become very spiritual, but you might say you've become that, but you still have choice. And any given moment when anything traumatic hits us or emotional shock hits us, you have a choice to be spiritual in that moment, or you have a choice to go back to the ego's response and lock down and not feel the emotion. So everything is always a choice. Even love. I've come to realize, being married 3 times, love is a choice. You choose to love the person. If you go, oh, it's automatic and we fell in love and we're soulmates and it's all lovey-dovey and it's just there, actually it's a choice. You choose to be in love. You choose that moment. You choose to be spiritual as well. It's a choice. And you choose how you respond in those moments. And that's what conscious spirituality is. I love it. Oh, yeah, we could probably talk another hour about all of this, but we've got to go. And I'm sure everybody else has their turquoise things to get on with. So thank you, Jaci. Oh Lord, girl, thank you so much. And thank you to all the audience and our friends and the people who love color mirrors, who've joined us. And if you're new and you've enjoyed the show, please let us know. And we have a couple more authors that we're going to be interviewing. And remember that this book is available softcover and hardcover on Amazon. It's at cost. It's a not-for-profit book. The idea is when you finish reading it, don't put it on a shelf. Donate it to a charity, a hospice, a cancer treatment center, somewhere where there's a coffee table that you can leave it lying around and somebody could pick it up and randomly open it and maybe find a little pearl of wisdom, something to support them. And we deeply appreciate if you do that. So it's available on all the Amazon sites. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Maura.
Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye for now.